Hello, and welcome to this edition of Cope's Campus. Week 2, NCAA football. Got a couple good games coming up this week. Also, we'll get into MVP discussion in the W, and then finish it up with a couple key games of NFL, as well as the results of the Cowboys versus Eagles game and my thoughts. Well, let's start it off. Another week of college football, week 2, and the marquee matchup for this week is the number 18 Oklahoma Sooners has visitors coming in town by the number 15 ranked Michigan Wolverines. Oklahoma had a good game last week, a little warm-up game to get them into this game. Michigan as well. They had one as well. This is going to be a doozy. 18 versus 15. Sooners quarterback John Mateer, he was lights out last week. He was 30 for 37, 192 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Running game wasn't there as much. Has good receiving game by Lewis, who had over 119 yards. This is a make it or break it year for Oklahoma, for Brent Venables. This is your make it or break it year. You got to do something. You was left with a whole lot of talent, and you've been there for a few years now and haven't maximized that talent. And now you got your own people coming in. But the story for me so far of the NCAA, it's only been 2, but the story so far for me in this young season is actually true freshman Bryce Underwood. He's actually getting paid like Blair Underwood. He's getting that money. True freshman, last week's game, he was 21 for 31, touchdown, had a couple good balls on some post routes, put it right where he needed to be. He's looking good so far week 1. Like I said, their opponent was a warm-up game, but now he's going to Oklahoma. Venables always got a good defense. When he was at Clemson, when he was defensive coordinator, great defense. Right now, they have Oklahoma as a favorite, -5.5 because they're at home. Michigan has a rookie QB, but I don't know. Matter of fact, I do know. I'm not going to say I don't know. I do know. I think Michigan keeps it close, and I think Michigan actually squeaks this one out in Norman, Oklahoma. They ran for over 200 yards last week, Michigan did, as a team, with Hayes running for 159 on 16 carries and 3 TDs. Tight end Klein came up big with a tutty and 6 receptions. I think Michigan pulls this one out. I just think Michigan's just tougher overall. And I think with that running game to help that true freshman Bryce Underwood at quarterback, Michigan's gonna get this one in Norman. Sorry, Sooners. The next game we're gonna be talking about is an in-state rivalry game. Kirk Ferentz and his Hawkeyes of Iowa are going to Ames to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State comes in ranked at number 16, coming off of 2 impressive wins last week. It was a warm-up, but remember they had a week 0 win against K-State in Ireland. Gronowski for the Hawkeyes last week he only threw for 44 yards. They ran the ball well. Iowa did in their week 1 cupcake win with Xavier Williams, 122 yards. Cyclones coming off of Beck. He's just been looking good the first 2 weeks. Even last week, they played another cupcake, but he did what he's supposed to do. 33 for 48, 461 yards, 5 TDs. The running back Hansen, he had 90 yards on 25 carries. Iowa State's coming in, offense going red hot. Kirk Ferentz, I know you're a Pittsburgh man, at the helm for Iowa for the last 88,000 years. But I think Iowa State just has too much on offense and covers that 3.5-point spread as well. Iowa State wins this one. Now we go from an in-state rivalry to now a conference rivalry in the SEC. Early SEC game. Number 20 Ole Miss visits Kentucky. Both teams 1-0. Coming off of okay wins against subpar competition. Kentucky at home, they beat Toledo 20. I think that was okay, but if you're playing a team like Toledo, I think you should score a little bit more. But I know it's the first week. Some people are not trying to show plays and whatever else they got going on. As far as Ole Miss last week, they blew out Georgia State. They did it convincingly, 63-7. Their quarterback Simmons threw for 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The running back Lacey had over 108 yards. Wallace III had 130 receiving yards and a touchdown. I know it's an AC early matchup. It's in Kentucky. Stoops usually has a good defense, but I think Ole Miss and that Lane Kiffin, I think he got something to prove this year, and I think they went out right, and I think they also cover as well. The 8.5-point spread. Mark that down. Again, I'm going to Ole Miss for the easy victory. Final college game that I'll talk about This week, Arizona State travels to Mississippi State. Arizona State ranked number 12. Both Arizona State and Mississippi State coming off of cupcake wins. Like I said, that's just how it is in the NCAA for the most part. You warm up because you don't get a preseason game, so you warm up with your first game more often than not. Bulldogs, their quarterback, Shaping, last week threw for 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Also had a good rushing output by Booth, who had 80 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown, and Thompson, their wide receiver, had 92 yards. Sun Devils, they're looking to make noise this year. They want to get in that playoff conversation. Levitt, he had 257 yards last week, 2 touchdowns. He also scampered and for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Also, his big wide receiver on the outside, Tyson, he also had 141 receiving yards, 12 receptions, and 2 TDs. This is a sneaky game. Again, the Sun Devils are on the road. I happen to believe that the Sun Devils do pull this one out. Don't know if they cover, but I think they will win. Okay, and I want to get into the WNBA MVP race. Last night was a game from the Minnesota Lynx versus the surging Las Vegas Aces. Now, Minnesota is comfortably ahead in the standings by 5 or 6 games. However, Nafisa Collier, their star, who to me at that point in time was leading the MVP race, she did get hurt for a few weeks. Team still was doing okay. Last night was a big matchup, though. Nafisa versus Asia Wilson. Las Vegas Aces are humming. They ended up winning 97-87 last night behind a 31-8 effort from my MVP frontrunner right now in Asia Wilson. I was waiting to watch this game last night. I happened to see it. Asia was getting buckets, getting points where she wanted to, whether she was hitting the jumper, the mid-range, going to the hole, getting the and. She ended up scoring 31 points, 8 rebounds. She is my MVP frontrunner right now, even though Minnesota took 3 out of 4 from Las Vegas in the season series. But in the last month, Vegas is 13-0 on a winning streak. Nafisa, she still can catch up if Asia gets a little cold. But right now, I think it's Asia's the win, and that's all they're doing in Las Vegas. Shout out to Jackie Young as well. She put in a solid 22. Nafisa had 12 last night in a losing effort. Still think they're going to get the number 1 seed. They're comfortably ahead with a few games left. But Asia, the run she's going on the last 13 games, amazing. Shout out to the Las Vegas Aces. After starting slow, coming in strong. Can't wait to see these 2 teams in the playoffs, see what they do. On to the NFL. Let's talk about the game that happened last night in Philly. Philadelphia Eagles survived against the Dallas Cowboys 24-20 in last night's game. First half, there's a lot of scoring, a lot of marching going back and forth, up and down. At halftime, it was 21-20. I thought this was going to go down as a high-scoring barn burner. Second half, marred by a lightning delay of an hour, so it set me back from going to sleep an hour. But, you can't predict the weather, as my man Andre 3000 said, Miss Jackson. My thoughts on this game, Dallas came out and held their own. They held their own. First half, I was thinking, okay, this could be an upset. Like I said, it was 21-20 at halftime. Dak was throwing some good balls. They get down to the red zone. They actually, the new addition, Javonte Williams, had 2 TDs down there once they got down there to the red zone. I thought it was going to be a great game. CD started off hot. I think he had about 80 yards at halftime. He started off real hot. That boy Jalen Hurts, though, he's a winner. Say whatever you say about him. He's a winner. Whenever Dallas come down and score, Jalen would bring his team back to score. You got to love that. You just do. The first 2 scoring drives for Philly, TDs by Hurts on scrambles. Didn't see what he liked, and he scrambled it in. Scrambled like Randall with his. Cunningham. Jigga held you down 6 summers. We know where the love is. Saquon had an okay game. Jalen had more yards, but Saquon had an okay game. They didn't beat him to death first game of the season. He got his touchdown, right before the half. So 21-20, 4.5. Second half of the game, Hard by drop passes. Not just drop passes that would change the game. 3 of them. CD missed 3 of them. 2 that were beautifully placed. Beautifully placed. He catches one of those 3, especially the last game. The last one was kind of tough. He had to dive out, hit him in the fingertips. So that one I can let go. But if he catches that one, we're talking less than 2 minutes, Dallas with the ball on Philly's side. I think CD will make up for this, in the long run. Jalen Hurts, what can I say about him again? Second half, he did just enough to win. On third down, when they needed first down and run out the clock, what did he do? Saw no one's open, scrambled for a first down, curtains, show's over. Go back to Dallas, he said. Going forward, I think Philly stayed healthy in this game for the most part, besides their All-American, their All-Pro Dickinson, but I think he'll be back. He does have a little back injury, but I think he'll be back next week. Dallas, for what they said, without Micah, Kenny Clark looked good. He got a sack. He got a half a sack. Second half, like I said, they held Philly to just 3 points. So defense didn't look that bad either. I do believe that offense will kick it into another gear for the Cowboys. I think once they figure out what they have in George Pickens as well, and he gets a couple more balls that way. I think it was a big pickup of Javonte Williams in the offseason that came over from the Broncos. Miles Sanders had a long run, but he also fumbled the ball. And when they were going in, that was a game changer. I look forward to see how these two teams progress this year. Tonight, you have the Chiefs versus the Chargers in Brazil. Don't know what type of field it's going to be on. We know how it used to be when they had them games in other areas where sloppy fields, rainy. I don't know the conditions. I don't know about the field conditions. But one thing I do know, Patrick Mahomes is going to be playing quarterback for the Chiefs. And with him playing quarterback for the Chiefs, hard to bet against that man. Patty Mayonnaise, hard to bet against you, brother. They won't have Rashee Rice. He's suspended. But they have Patty. They have Kelsey. They have supplemental players like Juju. Pacheco still going to be there on offense. Defense is always solid under Spagnuolo. Think it's going to be a good game. Chiefs are favored by 3.5. Chargers, Justin Herbert, for me, it's a make it or break it year for him. Make it or break it year. Keep on hearing, and I see these stats and things like that, but it doesn't turn into winning. No W's. The Chargers and Jim Harbaugh want W's. You got receivers. You got my man. You got the good lad McConkey. You got Keenan and Ivory Waynes coming back and Keenan Allen. The tight end position's always decent. You got new weapons at running back. You got my man Hampton. Najee, he got one good eye like I do now. I'll be impressed if Justin Herbert comes out and wins this game. But that's what I want to see from you. They say you got good mechanics. You're supposed to be a All-American natural quarterback. They say your numbers are good, on a year-to-year basis. But I want to see some W's. So this is a good game to start. Again, have the Chiefs winning this one. 1 o'clock, we got a NFC South game starting. First week of the season. The Buccaneers and the Falcons in the ATL. Buccaneers are favorite -1.5. This is going to be a good one to watch. I believe this one is going to come down to who has the ball last. I think both offenses can put up some points. Defenses are trying to come around. Baker Mayfield, he impressed me the last 2 years down in Tampa Bay. Changed my scope on him. The gunslinger himself has a few weapons out there, has a couple that are not going to be there, but once Mike Evans is there, that's all you need to know. Bucky Urban running hard. Atlanta has Penix. I want to see you progress. I know you had a few games last year, the rookie season. You have some weapons out there. You got meet me at the London and Drake London. We can see if you guys can unlock Kyle Pitts. If you can get even 80% of the Pitts that was in Florida Gatorland, he's gonna be good. But y'all got to get in the ball. Bijan Robinson, a top 4 or 5 back, and I'm saying that lightly. In the NFL, get that man in one-on-one spaces, get some play action going. First game of the season, I told you guys I had Atlanta winning this. I had Atlanta winning this division, so I needed them to come out strong. I have Atlanta with a little upset over the Buccaneers. Let's go, Penix. Next game I want to talk about is the Dolphins playing at the Colts. The odds makers must know something I don't know, because they have the Colts favorite by 1.5. I just don't get it. I don't. If someone could tell me how they have the Colts favored over the Dolphins, I would definitely love to know. Because the Colts they barely know who their quarterback is. Danny Dimes. Yeah, okay. His dimes turning to pennies real fast. Them Brown brothers, them Copper boys. Meanwhile, the Dolphins still got that offense that's high powered. As long as Tua is healthy, that offense is always going to put up some points. They're going to put on for their city. I have Miami winning this one, taking it. I don't even have it close, let alone -1.5. Sheesh. Next game is, I call it the revenge game for both quarterbacks. My Pittsburgh Steelers going to New York or the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, wherever you want to call it, up there, New York, New Jersey Jets. They have they have my Pittsburgh Steelers -2.5. The revenge game, Aaron Rodgers against his old team, the Jets, and Justin Field against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually wanted Pittsburgh to keep Justin for a little fee, but he decided to go to Jets land, and we end up with Rodgers. I'm okay with that. This game, the over-under is 37.5. They're not believing in any offense in this game. They think this game is going to be a 20-17 game, and it might be. Rodgers didn't play any during the preseason, so he's probably rusty. He's old, as we know. He's a month younger than I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm still looking handsome, but I'm over 40. We'll see. Can Aaron Rodgers establish a passing game, get DK the ball early, get Freiermuth, get Jonnu Smith the ball early, bring in Big Washington during red zone time, see if you can get some touches there with him. Can the offense protect? We know the Jets have a great defense. We know Caleb Johnson, running back for the Steelers. We'll see what he can do in this offense. Can he get loose? Can Jalen Warren be the little battering ram? On the other hand, Steelers defense, solid. They're good too, but they're getting long in the tooth. Can Justin Fields get the ball down the field accurately? Can he scramble, use his legs? Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, will they be running the ball? I'm going to be a homer on this one, but also believe it, Steelers win this one in a close game. Another conference game, NFC West conference game to start. 49ers Seahawks. They have Seattle going. They have Seattle at home against the 49ers. 49ers are favorite 1.5. I just think Sam Darnold going to Seahawks, them losing their best receiver, DK going to the Steelers. Defense is okay. I think they lose. Purdy just got his money. He has more weapons on offense. Defense is finally finally healthy again. Now, they lost a lot of people on defense, but they also got their defensive coordinator back in Robert Saleh. I think 49ers win, and they cover the 1.5. Lions versus Packers. Battle of the NFC North. Lions going into Green Bay. Green Bay got all the buzz around them right now with the trade of Michael Parsons. With Jordan Love out there imitating Aaron Rodgers, with Golden as their rookie wide receiver, and they're in Lambeau. So you might see a couple Lambeau leaps. That's fine. But I'm taking the Lions. They're going to Lambeau right now in the summertime. It's September, still summer, good weather. It's not like it's cold. Lions got too much offense. Their defense, they got their best defensive player back in Aiden Hutchinson. They got a lot of their other defensive players back that were hurt last year from this 15-win team. I have the Lions. My man Goff, man. Goff is playing ball. Jared's playing ball. And we know what he's going to do. He's going to hit Ross, St. Brown, J-Mo, Laporta, and we ain't get to talk about them two running backs back in the backfield yet. In Montgomery, Alabama, David Montgomery, and that boy Gibbs. Lions win this one in this little upset. On the Sunday Night Football, Ravens favorite in Buffalo by 1.5. This night game is going to be electric up there in Buffalo because I already know how they get down, especially when it comes to them and their tailgating, coming off the top ropes onto the tables like they Randy Macho Man Savage or the Dudley Boys. Battle of the MVPs. MVP of last year versus MVP the year before. Battle of the division round, where Buffalo beat the Ravens last year. Josh Allen, if he doesn't turn the ball over, it's tough to beat the Bills because he can sling the rock. He can run the rock. Great decision-making makes it tough. Sean McDermott, even though the defense is never the best, it's always good enough to win games. I believe it's going to be a close game. However, I told y'all who I have winning the Super Bowl this year, and it's the Ravens, and they're going to start on Sunday. And when I mean start, I mean Lamar Jackson is going to handle his business Sunday night. It's going to be for one game, but he's going to get back to Lamar-type game. He's going to razzle-dazzle you. He's going to have about two touchdowns passing. He's going to scramble a little bit. They still got Derrick Henry back there. Zay Flowers has to become a bigger target. Bateman, Mark Andrews, critical drop. Come on, brother. We need you. You're my mans in them. We need you. Isaiah Likely, like I said, King Henry. Had the Ravens putting a statement Sunday night. In the Monday night game, another NFC North, you have the Minnesota Vikings going to go meet up with the monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears. This game, This is a Caleb Williams, hi, I have arrived game. Last year you was a rookie. This year you're in your second year. You have all the weapons around you. You got Ben Johnson, offensive guru for the Lions, as your head coach. You have no excuses, brother. No excuses. You have wide receivers galore. DJ Moore. You have good tight end. Running back is decent with Swift. What more do you want? And you're going against J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings, but we don't know what J.J. is yet. He was a rookie last year, but was injured all last year. This is his first game is against you. You're in the same draft class. I have Minnesota last in this division because of the quarterback play. Bears take it Monday night at home. Book it. Thank you for watching this episode of Coach Campus. Stay tuned.